Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I am Mick Alfany. So, because Stellar is in Davos and they have been making a lot of different tweets and postings about that, it led me to the World Economic Forum's website. Now, if you scroll down on weforum.org, there is an article that they posted there titled "Removing Trade Barriers." Now, this is not in relation to Stellar. That's just what led me here. If you read this document, it's all about trade finance. Trade finance. And they're continuously in this document emphasizing digitalization in trade finance. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm quite sure they have some legacy system offerings, which would be absolutely terrible, absolutely trash. I'm pretty sure they have some prototype legacy system offerings, just like they tried when they were trying to go against us in the beginning to find a way to innovate and advance themselves without crypto at first, right? But then they had to give in to us 100%. Now you see them riding the crypto train. So I'm sure there's something like that where they have these prototypes as such. But keep in mind that on their crypto list, who do they have that they favor in crypto? XRP is on that list. XDC is on that list. And of course, Stellar Algorand is also on that list. Cello is there as well. However, when it comes to trade finance, who is in deep in trade finance on that list? That would be XRP. They've been in trade finance the longest. I showed you those documents, right? And a lot of you screenshot that, you download that. And a lot of you knew that the XRP was involved, or Ripple was involved in trade finance for quite some time. You've known that. So Ripple is in deep. XRP is in deep in trade finance. Don't worry, it's delicious. Trust me on this. I'm going to drop the number on you. Then who else is deep in trade finance? XDC. XDC. As a matter of fact, the World Economic Forum wrote an entire article on praising XDC. Now, with this type of backing, I mean, of course, everything takes time and happens in degrees. With that type of backing, an organization like the World Economic Forum that puts in place presidents, you better check their list, that puts in place presidents, that puts in place prime ministers, governors. I mean, they're all over the place. And every year it seems like it's mandatory for the biggest people in the larger business arenas to come to this Davos to receive information. Now, with an organization that powerful, if it's backing you, do you really believe that price is going to stay where it is, that those protocols are going to lose? I mean, they're doing a lot on their own. This is just sprinkles on top of the cake. In my humble opinion, just my humble opinion. It's not financial advice. Now, let's go here. I just want to drop this number right on your head. I just want you to feel the weight of it. It says here, this is from unctad.org, okay? And it says here, this is from this is an article written in 2022, but it's about 2021. Global trade hits record high of $28.5 trillion. Give me that money. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We continuously are talking about trillions. This is like, listen, these big money long holes. I've seen this before in the stock market. Trust me, there's a lot of different projects that took some time to develop because of infrastructure, because of testing and stuff like that, especially if you're into medical stocks and stuff like that, and they have to, reach certain levels of efficacy and things like so we know about certain things taking their time, but we made a heck of a lot of money off those plays because we had the vision. We did the research. And of course, it's a long hole. Like I said, you got your quick short holes you play with and you make some quick money. And then you have your long holes, right? You just put that to the side. But you did your research, you stay up on the catalyst, You see it's a healthy project going somewhere. $28.5 trillion. Now, everything happens in degrees. But even if we took a modicum of that, I'm not even saying the entire thing. Even if we took a modicum of that, do you honestly believe that that price is going to stay where it is? XRP, XDC. There's no way you can believe that. There's no way. They already were working on offerings for that. Well, you know, XDC, that's their major thing. But Ripple apparently was working on offerings for that some years ago. So by now, that has to be sheared up, I would think. Ripple is not one to rest on their laurels. They're very sharp and they continue to push. They're the best of the best, right up there with Algorand. They're the best of the best. Quant, etc. These bank coins. $28.5 trillion. So once again, we're constantly talking about trillions. Listen, these things are going to take time because of infrastructure. We read the document recently where it was telling you that they don't have enough people. They don't have enough developers. They don't have enough employees within the systems that know how to use the systems. So they're trying to get that together. They have to train the employees. That takes time. And they're used to these old systems. Then some of them are going to have hybrid infrastructures. They have to learn how to use that. So that takes time. It's not like these bank coins are not like these pump and dump schemes and these coins that really don't have any utility. They don't have any infrastructure. They're not really connected to any software or like technology. Sorry about the software. Technology anywhere. No, they just, people FOMO into it. They get other people into it. The price goes up and then it drops off a cliff and then that's it. Somebody gets stuck holding a bag, lost a lot of money. These are not like those, right? Utility is very important. Let me say that right now. Utility is so important because it puts that protocol in constant flow, in constant use. Knock my light over. In constant use. So then there's the possibility of that protocol being burned. Then it's not easily to access that protocol if it's locked up in a lot of closed ecosystems, or you have big businesses holding on to a bunch of them. You think they don't want to make money off these? Of course they do. That's why the head of SBI Remit said a lot of them were on the side. Then they want to utilize the technology. So in order to utilize the technology properly, you have to have an allotment of these particular things. You don't have to, but it would behoove you to do so. Unless you want to be at the will. Listen, if I could buy XRP off the market, why would I go through Ripple, right? Like I can utilize Ripple services, but I have my own allotment just in case. I don't want Ripple having all the power. So then you have that type of dynamic going on. Then you have other offerings when it comes to the bank coins, like when you're beginning to stake them. I think staking is going to be way bigger in the future once there's regulatory clarity. Staking and rewards, I believe, will be much bigger at that time. A lot of offerings have pulled back because of the SEC and things of that nature. Lack of regulation, of course. They don't want a problem. And I think the Bank of International Settlements told you also that they were interested in the possibility. There was like 3 different options. 3 different options. One of those options was staking. So even a central bank was talking about staking. So then because of the utility and governance, participation in governance, especially when it comes to DeFi and automated market makers and voting and controlling the way that the cultivation of those blockchains. So you'll have to hold some of those necessarily if you want to participate. And those big businesses definitely do. They definitely do. So then there's that staking aspect. And in my humble opinion, like I said, I believe it will grow. So then some of those, because of that utility, that portion of the utility, they will be held and staked. So then there's not going to be a lot if that were to happen, right? There wouldn't be a whole lot of those coins in circulation, which would drive the price up. I think this is logical. I think that's logical, right? You tell me in the comment section, let me know. That's how I look at it. So utility is extremely important. And here's another thing. Utility is what could, bring the potentiality for money over the long term. Not just one spike and then you're done, right? That coin is dead, is done. It's utility ensures that over time you can make money consistently. $28.5 trillion. We're in all these different sectors where we're talking trillions upon trillions of dollars. All right, so now I want to just put that out there for you. XRP, XDC. Read that article. It's on weforum.org and it's titled Removing Trade Barriers. All right. I think that's huge. And it's interesting that they're making such a big push, you know. Well, let's go here. All right. So Stellar. I'm telling you, watch Stellar. There's a lot they don't say with their words, but they tell you with their actions. They're already, listen, there's a post on stellar.org. It's titled World Economic Forum 2. It's telling you everything they're going to be doing at the World Economic Forum's Davos. They're all over the place. And give you an idea, right? They're making their presence felt heavily. So Tuesday, January 17th, they're going to have a session titled Digital Currency Regulatory Best Practices. So Stellar here, which is going to be represented by Danelle Dixon, is going to have a voice in the World Economic Forum and all those powerful leaders around the world hearing what Stellar believes should occur when it comes to regulatory practices. That's huge. That's major. You think that Stellar is going to be a small player? You think that XLM is going to stay where it is? When they need it for liquidity, if they actually make any type of waves and vibrations with these individuals who may want to utilize Stellar, you think that they're going to leave their liquidity token on the side? It's impossible. There's no way that's going to happen. XLM can be utilized to provide liquidity where otherwise illiquid assets would not be able to move or would have no liquidity. XLM or Lumens provides liquidity for otherwise illiquid assets. I believe that that's almost the exact statement on stellar.org. Go read it for yourself. You don't have to take my word for it. Read it for yourself. So if you think they're going to leave that on the side, they're just being quiet right now because they don't want a problem in court. So they're trying to keep everybody distracted on everything else, but you can't distract me. Look at who they're in front of. They're going to be sitting on the panel with Amir Yaron, governor of the Central Bank of Israel. You think that this individual is going to hear what Stellar is saying and probably already knows about Stellar and say to themselves, hey, we don't want to use a piece of that. It's free. They can control anything they issue and they can issue it with ease on Stellar. And they're in control. It's not like going through all the other Bankcoin companies. Well, Algorand can provide the same, truth be told. But right now we're talking about Stellar. Stellar is here. They're there with Sarah Pantuliano, Chief Executive ODI, United Kingdom. Is anybody else seeing what's happening here? Stellar's sitting with some of the biggest names ever. You don't see something, peculiar about that? This company is in a special position. Got to ask, how did they get there and where are they going? So now let's scroll down here. Of course, they're going to be sitting on a panel about humanitarian aid and reconstruction through digital currency. And they're at the forefront right now, especially when you have the World Economic Forum, BIS, IMF, ECB, AMFIV, all talking about possibilities of world crises, multiple. That's major money moving back and forth. Major. Then if you're talking about the allocation of SDRs at any point to back up governments and and commercial banks. Come on now. I don't know if I covered this article. I was reading an article the other day about the allocation of SDRs and how there's no guarantee once that amount is delivered that it's used for what it was supposed to be allocated towards. There's a big problem with that going on. So with smart contracts and that, sneaky Stellar. With that Sorrow ban and with smart contract capability, any asset issued on Stellar blockchain, which all of the accounts have to hold a modicum of Lumen and all transaction fees are paid in Lumen. So just keep that in mind. But with that smart contract capability, if they wanted to send money like the central banks, like how they do SDRs and such like that, now there's traceability to say, hey, if you don't use it for this, we'll press a button and shut that down. You see? They want that. This is why the Bank of International Settlements has been talking about smart contracts for the longest time. Sorry, I talk a little faster when I get a little excited. Oh, man. I mean, look, I could be wrong, but I'm keeping an eye on this. These are my thoughts of what I'm seeing here with all of this happening. The access that they're having right now is unbelievable. If a lot of partnerships doesn't come out of this, I don't know when they will. You know, and like I said, we're waiting on the ending of that SEC case, and I believe it will be a positive outcome. And if it is, I believe Stellar, Algorand, and all the bank coins are going to have massive announcements. Massive. That right now, maybe some of them would not want to put out because it would put a spotlight on them. And you know the pit bull is out. The dog is out. SEC is out. So they have to be a little bit careful. It's another reason why I believe like Cello has been real quiet. It has been real quiet, right? Just as an example. They don't want that spotlight. It says another one on Tuesday. So they have a lot going on Tuesday. Meet the humanitarian disruptors. And once again, Danelle Dixon is representing here. Let's scroll down here. They have so much going on. Stellar and CoinDesk happy hour. So they're going to be mingling. Listen, let me tell you something. You couldn't imagine how many partnerships and deals. I'm telling you from personal experience. When you go to these events and you have like all of these so-called powerful people, and you're just talking with them, right? I'm just giving you my experience. Maybe it's different for other people, but you're there. You know, you're shaking hands, you're passing the time with certain people. And just, I'm telling you, if you make a good impression, there's offers right there. Person might even have a drink in their hand. There's offers right there. Hey, you want to come here? Hey, we're going down here. Hey, we're flying out here. Hey, do you want to participate in this project? I'm telling you. So big things happen at these soirees, happy hours, get-togethers and stuff like that. There's a lot of connections that are made. They're business connections. You know, just my personal experience, the people that go there and they're just like, oh, I just want to have some fun. They're looked at as kind of like being silly. Like, this is business here. It has the dressing of a gathering, a light version of a party. But it's not that. It's all business. So just my personal experience. I'm telling you. And it's not that difficult either to close deals and bring in partnerships and have that energy of like, hey, we'll talk later. I'm telling you. I'm trying to say a lot without saying a lot, right? So that's major. That's why they would do that. They're not wasting time. Even that is significant is what I'm trying to say. So then we move on here, breaking barriers with blockchain. How do we drive responsible, sustainable innovation? They're involved in that on January the 18th. They're going to make an impression. Stellar is showing what it's worth. It's showing what it's working with. That sounds funny. That just popped in my head. It is. They're showing what they're working with. They're shining. We will see what comes of this. I believe a lot can come of this, and no guarantees, of course. Description, please join the Stellar Development Foundation and PwC for an interactive discussion on the commercial benefits and challenges of blockchain technology. So now they're just showing you the benefits of Stellar outright. This is all very, very good for XLM holders, in my humble opinion. Not financial advice. I don't care if you buy Stellar, if you buy XLM or sell it. It doesn't mean anything to me. You got to make your own decisions, okay? Just sharing my humble opinion, all right? It's not that kind of channel. Let's scroll down here. See, and then you have these type of events here. Crypto's last mile solution, a discussion and happy hour with Circle Stellar Development Foundation. This is going to be major. And this is why they're sending, look, Danelle Dixon again. This is why they're sending their big heavy hitter. They could send anybody. Danelle is the lion, the head at the front. Danelle doesn't have to do as much as she does, but they know. They're like, wait, this is our closer. This is our powerhouse. If you want the best partnership, you got to send the best. And let me tell you, I'm telling you, I know the best when I see it. I've been around so many different champions, it will blow your mind. I'm telling you. Not toot my own horn, I'm telling you. And before they were champions, when we were all on the bottom, and I'm saying, hey, I see where you're going. I believe in you. Right? And everybody else say, oh, no, that person's going to lose it. If you only knew. If you only knew. I almost dropped some information right there. Right. It's multiple champions. So what I'm saying is I'm pretty good at calling it. And when I say like people like Denell Dixon, those are your deal closers. Denell Dixon, Stacey Wharton, Brad Garlinghouse. You see how hungry they are. They all share this similar hunger, this eloquence. Silvio McCauley, Lehman Baird, your Gilbert Verdians. These are winners. When you're backing a protocol, a company, wherever you are, stock market, crypto, you have to look at the leadership. You have to look at the teams, and you need to look at their closers. Who are they sending to these meetings to close deals and bring in partnerships? That's where the big money is made over time. The long plays, not quick plays. You don't need to go that deep. It's quick money plays. But when you're talking about the big money plays, the long money, yeah, you need to know all of that. You need to know that. All right. So, I mean, there's so much going on here. So, I mean, it's an exciting time. We'll see what comes out of this. I'm trying to look for anything else here. Okay, so now I want to go on to this little bit here with Algorand. Now, remember, Algorand is involved with the Bank of Italy and the insurance over there in Italy as far as insurance and bank guarantees. Let's scroll up here. I want to just read this to you, okay? Because this is going to be, I think this is going to be major because of what's going on in the world right now. So bear with me for a moment. It says the Algorand supported platform is expected to launch in early 2023. According to Algorand's December 13th announcement, this is the first time a European Union member state will use blockchain technology for bank and insurance guarantees. The reason I'm reading this, we read this before, is just to refamiliarize you with this in case you don't remember. And I'm going to go somewhere with this. Trust me. It says a bank guarantee is when a lending solution, this is what's key here, is when a lending institution promises to cover a loss if a borrower defaults on a loan. It's an alternative to providing a security bond or a deposit to a supplier or vendor. An insurance guarantee is similar, but is offered by an insurance company rather than a bank. So they're doing both. Now, why is this important? And this shows you how wise, how strategic Algorand is. When I say Algorand's the best, that's because I'm watching what has occurred. How strategic they were moving. And they were setting up their chess pieces to dominate. Watch this. I'm going to show you here. Right? So that was announced back then, a couple months back, I believe. And then here's an article here. Italy seeks EU green light by the end of 2022 to revive bad loan guarantees. Why is that significant? Let's read this little tidbit first. Going somewhere with this. Algorand, there's no... Come on, Alfani. Let's stay on track. I have too many thoughts. There's thoughts just swirling in my mind right now. It says here, Italy is working to bring back a state guarantee scheme. Guarantee. Oh, Algorand is going to be running the guarantees. Oh, so pretty much anything they want to do when it comes to guarantees, they want to move that money around. It's going to flow through Algorand. Do you believe the price is going to stay where it is? You believe that? Let me do it with my voice a little higher. You believe that? I gotta have a little fun from time to time. They're working to bring back a state guarantee scheme for up to 36 months to help banks shed bad loans. We're in the game already. We're in the game. Keep your eye on these activities. Keep your eye on it. So now let's continue here. It says, and hopes to secure a green light from European Union by the end of the year. 3 sources familiar with the matter say, now listen, there's no guarantees, but I'm showing you the possibility. the possibility. You make up your own mind how you feel about this. Now, let's go to another article here. I don't want to keep you here too long today. Now, this article is titled, Unicredit Offer Loans, Debt Holidays Help Clients Cope with Energy Crisis. It says here, though Unicredit is aware that many of its customers, especially in energy-hungry sectors such as steel or ceramics, are struggling, Orcel said loan repayments had kept up the benign trends seen in the second quarter. Ours is a preemptive move. Remo Taracani, the bank's deputy head of Italy, said, we asked ourselves, what can a bank do to help the structural reduction in households' disposable income and companies' cash flows we'll observe in the next 2 to 3 months? Let me scroll up here. Just bear with me one moment. Italy's second biggest bank, Unicredit, on Monday unveiled a set of measures worth up to 8 billion euro to ease the pain of firms and households hit by record energy costs and wider price surge. Chief Executive Andrea Orcel told a press call that Unicredit, which operates also in Germany, Austria, and Eastern Europe, was working on similar measures for its other markets and reassured on the quality of the bank's loan book. It's all about the loans. Separately on Monday, Italy's biggest bank, Intesa San Paolo, said it would provide an additional 2 billion euros in financing to small businesses to cover energy costs and offer a payment suspension of up to 24 months on existing loans. These loans are about to go bad. They're propping them up. This is what I'm trying to show you. Wait. Let's go back here. Oh, man. What is it? What are we dealing with here? When we're dealing with Algorand in Italy and the bank and insurance, a bank guarantee is when a lending institution promises to cover a loss if a borrower defaults on a loan. Oh, baby. Money. Now, look at how strategic Algorand is. You tell me they're not the best of the best when it comes to strategy. I'd say that they are. They're right up there. Now we're gonna close out with this here, just to show you the prime position that Algorand is in. There's no guarantees, of course, but I'm giving you factual information. You make up your own mind with it, but you can read over it, comb over it yourself. Okay, now here. Now, this article is titled, here we go, people. You ready? Look at the position we're in. Bank of Italy sees bad loan provisions doubling in 2023 to 2024. Doubling. I like it a lot. The amount of money Italian lenders set aside against possible loan losses could double in 2023-2024 compared with 2022. The central bank said on Thursday, adding it's still expected the sector to show adequate profitability. If that's the case, then why are you taking these precautionary measures? Nothing can be wrong. You can just say, well, we're doing precautionary measures because of the necessity of the word and the nature of the business and the economies. No. This is why you already see what's happening. They're ready to tip over. This is why you're propping them up. This is why we already read 2 articles about them propping them up. The rise in borrowing costs for households and companies would account for roughly half of the additional loan losses. Listen, this is going to be massive. While the rest would stem from the current economic slowdown. Quote, though the increase would not be small. Why would they phrase it that way? In other words, it's going to be big. Given that the starting point is very modest, loan write-downs would get to levels very distant from peaks seen after the global financial crisis of 2008-2009 and the sovereign debt crisis of 2011 to 2022. Bank of Italy Senior Deputy Governor Luigi Federico Signorini, sorry about that, sir, said in the text of a speech, Italian banks have cut impaired loans to below 4% of total lending from peaks of nearly 20% in 2015, 2016. While weighing on corporate and household finances, higher interest rates will benefit banks' income from their core lending business. Listen, keep your eye on this. This is something that I'm going to be monitoring very closely. This could get interesting very, very quickly. So now that you have that information, what are you going to do with it? If you have a different idea, if you're reading over this and you have a different idea of what's going on or a different interpretation, always feel free to put that in the comment section. If you're members only section or something like that, put it. Once I make a post in the members only section, feel free to put it there or something of that nature and share your ideas. If you feel free to, if you feel like you want to do that, you can do that. I'm always open to learn. I'm here. You have to understand, a lot of the subscribers and the people on this channel, we've grown together, right? We've grown, we've researched almost together. Like, I'm sharing information, they're sharing information. Sometimes I'm providing stuff. Sometimes they're making me hip to something. They're bringing something to my attention. We've grown together. So what I'm saying here is I'm always open to learn. All right. So I think of people in this channel like a team. Just this is personally how I feel. You don't have to agree to that. So always feel free to say something if you have some information to divulge or a new idea. All right. So I hope all of you are doing well out there. I hope you're healthy, staying healthy in the body, healthy in the mind. If you didn't watch that last video, it was classic poetry for health or for a healthy mind. Poetry is good for a healthy mind, just like meditation is, just like yoga is. Lifting weights is also lifting weights, cardio, aerobics. So I try to do different things at different times to help the people. That's very important to me, to be able to know that I'm giving back in more ways than one. Just personally how I feel. So now that you have that information, what are you going to do with it? I know what I'm going to do with it. So until next time, let's get to the money.